back to the Daily Grind. Thanks for checking out the channel. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
What is up, full-time family? We pissed a few people off last night, and you know we don't give a fuck. I gotta get into Mark Hunt. This dude is so fucking hilarious. But first, I gotta say, there was somebody in the comments named like Xenon calling me a racist, piece of shit, fastest, Fox News watching, fucking, I'm in on the scam with Keaton Jones' mom, all type of shit. And I'm not gonna address that again. I almost made a whole separate video, but I'm not gonna do it. All I'm gonna say is this. I don't give a fuck if Keaton Jones' mom is a piece of shit. That was not my point. I'm not defending his mother. I am saying the only reason we care about his mother is because we felt some type of way when we saw Keaton Jones was being bullied. And now I'm just pointing out the irony that everybody is saying that they cared about Keaton Jones and now they don't care about the repercussions of going after his mother. Whenever Keaton Jones posted that video, we didn't even think about his mother's character. But now, since we've looked up Keaton's family and we see his mother has a picture with the Confederate flag and she said us whites stick together, everybody is like, oh, okay, now it's okay to bully Keaton's mom. And as I said, yeah, she might be a piece of shit. I'm not arguing that. I don't give a fuck about her. But all I'm saying is now, whenever Keaton goes to school tomorrow, he's going to have to face more bullying because his mom is allegedly a racist scam artist. And no one gives a fuck because we don't have the concrete proof. But everybody still seems to be okay with this witch hunt. Now, there are some people that are like, hey, what the fuck about Keaton? Which is my stance. What the fuck about Keaton? Now, there's some people that are going as far as like, well, if his mom's a racist, maybe he deserved to be bullied. How are you going to come out in the beginning and say you're against bullying and then say, well, maybe he deserved the bullying? Like, which one is it? Are you against bullies, or are you okay if his mom's not perfect, he can be bullied? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if you just wanted to fucking judge everybody off of what their parents did, then go ahead and turn this fucking channel off right now, because my parents aren't perfect either. And does that mean that I'm a fucking I'm going to not be, no one's perfect, first of all, but does that mean that you should cast aspersions on me just because my parents aren't perfect? Well, if that's you, bro, get the fuck off of my channel. Some people, oh, you shouldn't cover that topic, it's not MMA. Some people, you know, it's too controversial for your fans. Like, no, I'm not fucking buying that. The MMA community reached out and rallied around this kid. I was fucking happy to see that. That was a good moment. And then someone else in the MMA community tried to expose this kid's mom, and I was just pointing out the hypocrisy of the whole situation of how can you say that you're against bullying Keaton and then we start bullying his mom, which is just making his situation worse. I don't care if she's a fucking terrible person, we're making his situation worse. So if you don't give a fuck about Keaton, then by all means, do what you do. But me as somebody who got into this whole situation, giving a fuck about Keaton, now I don't want to just throw Keaton to the motherfucking side because you don't like his mom. That's all I'm saying. Now let's get to fucking Mark Hunt. My bad. With Mark Hunt is coming out, and man, this is gonna be fun. That's why I'm glad we're doing this at the end of this video, because how could you not love Mark Hunt? Mark Hunt is that motherfucking dude, bro. People always talk about how Derek Lewis is one of the best personalities, one of the funnest social media people, and I agree. Derek Lewis is one of my favorite heavyweights. Fucking love his personality, love him as a fighter, but Mark Hunt is a little underrated, bro. Mark Hunt be coming through and making my ass laugh every time he's shooting shots at somebody, bro. And lately, it's the target has been Fabricio Werdum, bro. He went from calling Fabricio Werdum a chicken shit coward, now he's a little chicken rat. And I'm just imagining Mark Hunt actually saying these things. It's not even like, oh, you're a little chicken rat. It's just picturing Mark Hunt. He's a little fucking chicken rat, you know, just being pissed off. Like, actually, he's not just saying it for shock value. He literally believes it. Like, this dude's a fucking chicken shit coward. He believes it. So like, whenever you hear from Mark Hunt, it's almost worth it just to watch the interview because it's gonna be so funny. But this is what he had to say. I'm gonna get into the history of Fabricio and Mark Hunt. That's why I want to see this fight so much, even though they've already fought one time and Fabricio won the fight. This is Mark Hunt has been wanting all the smoke right back. Yeah, you beat me, yeah, that's okay, but guess what? I want to fight you again. And you're scared if you don't want to fight me. Everyone's like, what? He knocked you out already. Like, yeah, no, but he's a fucking chicken rat. I'm telling you, how can you not love Mark Hunt, bro? Check this out. So these guys have already fought once. This would be a rematch. Fabricio Werdum won the first fight via flying knee KO, if I'm not mistaken. But since then, Mark Hunt's been wanting the rematch. He's been wanting all of Fabricio's smoke. Fabricio has been running through all of these newer heavyweights. I mean, he beat Walt Harris when Derek Lewis was forced to pull out of their fight on short notice. Walt Harris jumped up. Fabricio, you know, just flawless victory, first round submission over Walt Harris. Then he fought Marcin Tybura, a guy that I believe was ranked 7 in the heavyweight division whenever Mark Hunt, none other than Mark Hunt, was pulled out by the UFC. So Fabricio took the opportunity to replace Mark Hunt. And that's one question I really fucking wish I could hear any MMA. If I could have any question asked to any fighter, I just will literally, and I'm just curious for myself, it doesn't even matter that much. I want to know what does Mark Hunt think about Fabricio Werdum taking his spot in that fight after saying he didn't want to go overseas because of his camp. Now, Fabricio might say, you know, I didn't have to prepare for a full camp. I took the fight on short notice. I didn't have to fly over my entire team. But let's touch on that for just a brief second for those of you who don't know that backstory. So, Mark Hunt originally wanted to fight the Fabricio Werdum rematch earlier. He wanted to fight, I believe, in the main event of UFC Australia, where he was going to fight Marcin Tybura. But according to Mark Hunt, Fabricio Werdum said, nah, I'm injured. I can't take that fight. You know, he didn't want the fight. Well, right after that, Fabricio Werdum takes a fight with Derek Lewis. And Mark Hunt's like, yo, this chicken shit, dog shit, coward, literally, he's dodging me. He just told me he couldn't fight because he's injured, and then he takes a fight with Derek Lewis like a week away from that. What the fuck's going on? And that's when Mark Hunt originally fired off, calling him a chicken shit coward. Like, how are you going to tell me you don't want to fight me and then take a fight with this guy 1 week later? Like, are you dodging me? And everyone was like, oh, he already knocked him out once. He's dodging Mark Hunt. And even Fabricio Werdum came out and said, it's got nothing to do with Mark Hunt. It just cost me a lot of money to take my entire camp. Fabricio Werdum's got a big camp, brings a lot of people with him. He said it takes $20,000 to $30,000 for me to take my entire camp overseas. That's why I didn't want to go to Sydney, Australia. Well, then it was interesting that none other than Fabricio Werdum went to Sydney, Australia to replace Mark Hunt. Now, he wouldn't go to, now this is just off according to Mark Hunt. He wouldn't go to Sydney to fight Mark Hunt, but now it's interesting he went to Sydney to replace Mark Hunt. So that's why I want to hear that question asked so much. What do you think about him saying he didn't want to go overseas? But I mean, I already know the answer. It's just interesting. I've never heard Mark Hunt address that. We already know the answer. Mark Hunt's going to say he thinks he's a coward, as he's still saying it. But now he's saying, here's another opportunity. I want Fabricio at UFC 221. Robert Whittaker's going to be defending his middleweight title. I want to be a part of that card. It's going to be history in Perth. I want to be there. And I want Fabricio. So he's putting more pressure on Fabricio. He still wants to smoke. Even though he's been knocked out by Fabricio, he's calling him out, calling him coward, and I just want to see the fight again, because some of you might believe, oh, Fabricio's just going to beat him again. Well, he might have to teach Mark Hunt. Mark Hunt wants the fucking smoke. Give him the smoke. Who else is Fabricio going to fight? And that's another reason I really want this fight to happen. It's not just because Mark Hunt's calling him out, even though that does add to the entertainment value of me want to see it more, but also Fabricio Werdum, his next fight was either Mark Hunt or a title shot. And so we all seen, you know, he picked up 2 quick wins over Marcin Tybura and Walt Harris. So he was like, maybe I'll get a title shot depending on what happens in the Alistair Ngannou fight. Well, we seen what happened in that fight. Alistair Overeem was knocked out via uppercut at the hands of Francis Ngannou, who is now already scheduled to face the heavyweight champion Stipe Miocic. So now the question is, does Fabricio Werdum want to just wait and fight the winner of Ngannou? Well, no, because Cain's back to training. Daniel Cormier just revealed Cain's back to training. Cain Velasquez might get the next title shot. So now is Fabricio Werdum just going to maybe try and wait it out? I mean, he's like, what, maybe he's closer to 40 years old, Fabricio Werdum is at this point. Mark Hunt too, maybe 42. These guys are both either in their 40s or really close. With that being said, does Fabricio Werdum want to fight Mark Hunt on a big pay-per-view card, or does he just want to kind of wait out after taking these 2 fights? Me personally, I want to see this fight. We've got Francis Ngannou versus Stipe. We don't know who's going to get the winner of that fight. We don't know what's going to happen in that fight. One of those guys could be out with a medical suspension. Cain Velasquez could get the next title shot. So I would not vote for Fabricio Werdum waiting for the title shot, even though he might. We'll see what happens. Mark Hunt's still calling him out. This is exactly what Mark Hunt had to say. I might as well read that because it's pretty funny. This is what Mark had to say, speaking with Sporting News. He said, hopefully I get a fight in Perth. We're waiting for Werdum to say yes, but he's such a little chicken rat. I'd like to be on the undercard for that world title fight for Robert Whittaker. That would be awesome being a part of history right there in Perth. So yeah, these guys got a lot of history. Mark Hunt lost the first fight, but he wants it back. I ain't mad at it, man. Usually, you know, it would be worse if it was like Mark Hunt won the fight and he was calling out Fabricio, like, yeah, run it back, I already whooped your ass, you want some more? But nah, he's like, I lost to that dude, one of the best heavyweights in the world, and I want that back. So I want to see it. With that being said, man, it is what it is. Shout out Keaton Jones just to piss off them clowns one more time in the comments, man. It is what it is. Let the full-time family know what the fuck you talking about in the comments. I'm out.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking D-O-double-G.